You know, fundamentally, really simply, we measure learning rather than time, and we use technology to change the productivity equation of higher education. Um, so technology's changed the productivity of every industry in America except education. In education, it's an add-on cost. Um, 95% of the online education in the country is really classroom education distributed over a wire. So we use the technology to distribute what we've always done. It's still a teacher with 20 or 30 students. It's the same syllabus. It's the same assignments. There's no productivity gain, and in some cases, it's more expensive. The way technology's changed the productivity of every other industry is it changes the function of labor. Technology now does things that used to be done with people. So really simply at WGU, we're using the technology to do the teaching. So students engage with interactive learning resources that are computer-based. And the faculty role changes to mentoring students through the program. So leading discussions, answering questions, not standing in front and lecturing and delivering content. It's really based on what we know about learners that come to higher ed. They come knowing different things, and they learn at different rates. And yet, our higher ed system says everybody needs 120 credit hours, they all need the same required courses, and every course takes 4 months. So the whole system is set up the opposite of how we know people learn. So at WGU, we simply said, look, we will define what graduates should know and be able to do. We'll develop assessments to measure that. When they demonstrate they have all of those competencies, they graduate, independent of how many courses they took or how long it took them. So if you already know it, you can pass it. If you can learn it in 2 months, you take 2 months to learn it. If it takes you 6 months, then take 6 months. You have to get to mastery. We're really pass-fail, but the pass is kind of set at a B level, so there's no C's or D's. You actually have to master the content to get through the material. The result of all of that is that our annual tuition for a 12-month year is $6,000 a year. We haven't raised it for 4 years. The average time to graduate with a bachelor's degree is 30 months compared to 60 months nationally. And that's just by freeing students up to demonstrate what they know and learn at their own rate what they don't know. Clearly, in my view, the only way you can free every student up to learn at their own rate what they need to learn is using technology, because we can't afford an individual teacher for every student, and if it's a teacher with 30 students, then it's at the teacher's rate, not the student's rate. So we use the technology to do the teaching. Our faculty actually say, you know, it's more of the role they had in mind, because they're actually interacting with students, answering questions, leading discussions, helping them through the program, not just standing in front and lecturing. So our students report higher levels of student-faculty interaction than students at brick and mortar universities in traditional settings. And still deliver really high quality education, that it could be affordable and not require double-digit tuition increases. Frankly, we're only going to have a meaningful impact if we inspire other people to try different ways of delivering higher education. In my view, you know, with 2 key principles: one, using technology. Other people will find better ways to use it than we have. And 2, measuring learning rather than time and individualizing instruction for students. So running the university for students rather than running it for faculty. You know, we're growing about 30% a year. About 20% of our students are traditional age students. But the typical student, average age of our students is 36. 70% of them are working full-time while they're going to WGU. They've developed competencies in the workforce that go beyond their credit hours. 80% of them have some college and no degree. So they, at some point, did college, never completed. There's 37 million adults in America with some college and no degree. If we get really big, we won't handle more than 1%. So you know, frankly, we need the for-profits and we need other nonprofits and we need the publics to do more, and we need to figure out how do we help our current workforce get educated for the jobs of the future. You know, I think we're really focused on, you've got Tony Carnevale at the Georgetown Center for the Workforce saying 66% of the jobs by 2018 will require some kind of post-secondary degree. 40% of our adults have one. We don't get there just by graduating every single kid from high school and then graduating them from college. We've got to figure out how to address the adults that are already in the workforce and provide them opportunities to get a degree in the jobs of the future. A lot of the jobs that are gone aren't coming back, you know, so they've got to skill up for new jobs. And I think that's a role WSU can play.